Suitor. And now as we get ready to tip it up, Eddie, should be a very interesting night at the office.
Yeah, it certainly was at Austin Peay. You said it right. UT Martin got out to that quick lead, but then it was a back-and-forth affair pretty much the entirety of that second half, and UTM very fortunate to come out with a victory there in that OVC win.
Yeah, it was a 13-point lead that UTM squandered in the second half and really didn't close as well as they had liked to, as we see Chris Nix draw a double team on possession number 1 for UTM. Bernie Andre spots up and fakes a three on the right corner and kicks out to Kobe Jeffries. His three-pointer's no good. And rebounding the ball for Austin Peay will be number 22, Alec Woodard. Immediately we have an illegal screen called on Austin Peay. I believe that's going to go against Elijah Hutchins-Everett, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a very costly call, if you will, against the Governors on possession number 1. The 270-pound freshman leads Austin Peay in rebounding.
Yeah, and talking about him, we had actually pregame at their place. He was kind of our spotlight player, and he did not start in that game. Tonight we're talking Caleb Stone-Carrawell, and he doesn't start. But those guys are almost interchangeable in what they do. They're both really big, strong presences inside.
After a UT Martin miss on possession number 2, KJ Simon is caught with his hand in the cookie jar, if you will, reaching in on Austin Peay's Tariq Silver, and that's going to be foul number 1 against the Skyhawks.
Yeah, I remember in that game at Austin Peay, Elijah Hutchins-Everett did not start the game, but he was a very big presence in the second half. As a matter of fact, I remember Coach Ritter saying that they started making their move as he started asserting his force and dominance inside.
That game in Clarksville, Stone-Carrawell and Hutchins-Everett combined for 30 points and 18 rebounds. They really did their damage inside as we see Hutchins-Everett dish it down low. Good ball movement by Austin Peay, moving in around the perimeter as Peay dishes out to the right corner. A mid-range jumper by Austin Peay's Elton Walker is no good, and high flyer KK Curry takes the rebound, but as he crosses past midcourt, he forgets the ball with him, and it's a UTM turnover. Fast break three-pointer is no good from Tariq Silver, and as both teams kind of moving at a rapid pace here in the early going, still no score, approaching 2 minutes into this one, as Bernie Andre settles the offense down for UTM. Sitting at 6-11 on the season, they are 2-3 when competing here at home in the Elam Center. This is KK Curry on the left side, took an extra step. I think he felt the presence of Elijah Hutchins-Everett and gets caught with a traveling violation.
Yeah, we see Peay out there right now trying to plead his case. He felt like he had also been the recipient of a UT Martin illegal screen. Of course, he saw it called on their end and was maybe trying to buy a call on the other end of the floor.
A 3.2 assist-turnover ratio is Peay, and there's an Austin Peay turnover, not by Peay's hands, but of Tariq Silver, the 6'5 redshirt senior guard with an errant pass to the post. And it's UTM ball again. Still no score, 17:50 remaining here in the early going. Jeffries at the free throw line, kicks out to KJ Simon, bounces it inside to Chris Nix. One-on-one with Hutchins-Everett, and the Austin Peay defense wins the initial battle. Nix misses the hook shot, but gets his own rebound. Re-entry into the post by Nix. He'll turn baseline, nearly traveled. Kicks it out to Bernie Andre, who'll tee up a three from the left corner, is good. UTM finally breaks the lid off the net, and Bernie Andre connects on what is his 13th three-pointer of the season. Silver at the top of the key, dishes to Peay, defended by KJ Simon, who has the advantage physically on the defensive side. Good ball denial by UTM initially, but they forget Alec Woodard from the corner, and a put-back jam from the Governors.
Walker came in. Nobody checked him, and he certainly made UTM pay for it. Very athletic play right there. A strong move by the young man.
Big case of UTM doing everything right but rebounding. They were out-rebounded by 6 the first time around against Austin Peay and Clarksville. Here's KK Curry, one-on-one offense, dishes out to Kobe Jeffries. Jeffries is stood up initially by Hutchins-Everett, but if I'm not mistaken, that will be foul number 2 before we've reached our first media timeout against the big man.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see who's coming in, see if it might be Caleb Stone-Carrawell right here. I can't see the number, but you would think, normal situations, you see a player like Elijah Hutchins-Everett going out 12.4 points, 7.6 rebounds a game. You might think, hey, advantage UTM, but Austin Peay has that luxury of, it's not going to be our pregame talk, is it? It's Corbin
Merritt. Yeah. You're right. Pretty curious substitution. 6'8" redshirt senior from Lloyd, Florida, as Jeffries goes 1 of 2 at the free throw line to boost our score up to 4-2. in advantage of the Skyhawks.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye and see if Caleb Stone Carroll makes a presence known tonight, or maybe some issue we're not aware of.
And we'll see if the Governors take a hit offensively with his absence here in the early going. We'll see if it's prolonged as the game goes on, because we're talking about the team's leading scorer. Here's Tariq Silver, who lines up for an 18-footer, misses the shot, but drew the foul at the hands of Chris Nix. And that'll be 2 free throws for Silver.
Yeah, Austin Peay has 3 guys that average double digits. Elijah Hutchins Everett, we talked about him, a little over 12 a game. Tariq Silver, who is going to the line right now, averages just under 12 points a game. And then you got Cameron Copeland sitting over there at 10 points a game, big points off the bench for them.
Neither of these teams shoot the 3 ball very well, although for Austin Peay, their man at the line right now, Silver, is the best option, a 37% shooter for the Governors. He has made 32 threes on the season, which ranks 4th in the Ohio Valley Conference, a member of last season's Elite 8 Oregon State Beavers team in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's the with the transfer portal, you know, you talk about a lot of guys in here that come from a lot of other programs. Both UT Martin, you mentioned it, nobody here was on this program or on this team last year, and Austin Peay certainly the recipient of some quality transfers as well.
Silver, the always reliable free throw shooter, knocks down a pair and ties us up at 4 apiece. And UT Martin will inbounds on the opposite side of the Austin Peay bench following a tipped pass by the Governors. Only 1 field goal make by either team so far in the early going, as this is Chris Nix driving from the top of the key, takes a bounce to KK Curry. 1 dribble attempt is
certainly on this team, and if this game is as tightly contested as they usually are, and they were the last time, his free throw shooting or the lack thereof might be big as well.
Not only was this a competitive matchup the last time these 2 teams hooked up 3 weeks ago, but historically, as Bernie Andre misses a mid-range shot and we have a whistle on Chris Nix pushing off, 8 of the last 9 contests between these 2 teams in this building have been decided by single digits. And we're starting to see a major foul problem line up for both teams, Eddie, as we already saw 2 fouls on Hutchins Everett, and there was the second on Chris Nix.
Yeah, Chris Nix, one of those guys that's been maybe the MVP of this team really since January or 2022 kicked in, if you will, especially in these OVC games.
Alley-oop pass is caught by Austin Peay's Walker, and then Silver is fouled shooting a 3-point attempt, and of course that's something you definitely do not want to do if you're UTM, putting arguably the best free throw shooter on the team at the stripe.
Yeah, you don't like to see your guys foul anybody that's a jump shooter, certainly not from the 3-point line. And just as you talk about the fouls, I mean, we have another just almost a silly foul here in the corner, really, and I think UT Martin's struggling a little bit because KJ Simon's struggling a little bit. You know, he's kind of the engine that pulls the train sometimes, and he hasn't had too many clean looks, if any. I think he's only taken 2 shot attempts to this point, and that's not natural for him.
We have played 4.5 minutes here, and we've already seen 3 players pick up 2 fouls, as KJ Simon will have to sit for a lengthy period of this first half, and Mikael Henderson will take his place in the lineup.
Yeah, KJ Simon leaves this game. He comes into this game averaging almost 17 points a game, 5 rebounds. He's almost a 2 assist, almost 2 block shots, and a couple of steals kind of game. He's one of those stat stuffers. He does a little bit of everything.
You only have to look at the last time these 2 teams met to know how good of a player KJ Simon is and how much of an impact he makes. 26 points, 4 blocks, while shooting 10 of 16 from the field in Clarksville 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and him having a seat right now, you wonder how much UT Martin's going to miss Darius Simmons. As you mentioned, he's not available at all for this game. Just one of those bodies that could have come in and spelled and given some minutes.
Bernie Andre, not sure if he called bank from the top of the key, but UT Martin will take it. That'll tie our score up at 7-7.
He did. I heard him call the bank.
Did you? Okay,
yeah.
Well, all right. This is Peay on the right wing, checked by Henderson. It'll be a big battle inside between Endicott and Merritt as Austin Peay turns the ball over. This is Henderson, an overhead pass to a wide open Kobe Jeffries, who can't connect on the 3, and Peay is able to box out Bernie Andre for the defensive board.
Yeah, both teams extremely cold to start this game. Austin Peay now shooting 25%. UT Martin a little bit worse at 22%. Only thing UT Martin's got going for them right now, they are 2 of 4 from 3-point land.
In the last 20 minutes 3 weeks ago, both these teams were 0 for 12 if you put them together from behind the arc.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to continue that trend a little bit. Well, both of them, they're streaky shooters, especially from the outside. UT Martin's had problems scoring some. Hey, come out here and score 80 points one night and pushing up around 60 the next.
Paez inadvertently tries to draw the foul against Josh Endicott and is therefore unable to connect on the layup, but Kobe Jeffries is able to do so for UT Martin, plus the foul on the baseline drive.
Yeah, one of these, not necessarily part-time players, but one of these role players is going to have to step up tonight for UT Martin at least to have a shot in this one. As again, they continue to rotate guys in and out, foul trouble, injury situations. We see Hurst in here. Hurst, not one of those guys that plays a whole lot of minutes, a freshman out of Cleveland, Tennessee, 6'2" guard. But he's going to be asked to come in and do a job tonight in a very important game.
Out of 17 games on the season, Grant Hurst has appeared in 12, but of course has not been a prominent scorer as Kobe Jeffries completes the three-point play to put UTM ahead by the score of 10-7. We now see Caleb Stone-Carrawell finally into the game for Austin Peay, just over 6 minutes into this one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm supposed to catch that kind of stuff. Appreciate that.
Here's Noel Scott with the ball. Overhead pass inside to Cameron Copeland, who takes a nice 15-foot J, easily settles in.
Yeah, again, Copeland doesn't start for Austin Peay, or doesn't very often, but that's 10 big points coming off the bench for them. He's a really good offensive player for Austin Peay.
Henderson checked by Scott. We'll give it to Josh Endicott, far out from the basket. And this is Grant Hurst trying some one-on-one moves. Endicott, a wild shot is good, plus the foul as he was able to drive right by Elton Walker and score for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, I think that was Stone-Carrawell guilty of that foul. I don't know, I'm looking up now. They've got 11 Merritt, but no, there it is. Yeah, Stone-Carrawell was guilty of that. I think he kind of considered going for the shot block and wasn't in position, tried to maybe halfway draw the charge, get out of the way, and was able to do neither.
There you saw another look at the three-point opportunity by Endicott. However, he was unsuccessful on the free throw try, so that'll keep our score at 12-9 UTM. Coming up on 13 minutes to go here in this opening half. Off the curl and a very off-the-mark three-pointer, if you will, by Drew Calderon for Austin Peay. And this is Henderson on the left side. One-on-one offense against Stone-Carrawell. Endicott will set a screen. A two-man game will give it right back to the big man. Can't score underneath, and Calderon will take the rebound.
Yeah, Endicott's really going to kick himself when he sees that one after the game. He's probably a little bit more open than he thought he was.
Stone-Carrawell now assessing the offense for Coach Nate James's unit. Gives to Scott on the right wing. Austin Peay trailing by 3 will try to tie it up with the Stone-Carrawell triple. No good, although Elton Walker keeps it alive with the tap out. Copeland over to Scott. Doesn't have any defenders near him initially, so he'll take the open 15-foot J, but it's short. And KK Curry grabs the board, and UTM is off and running. Settling things down a bit is Curry as he spins past Copeland and is able to hang in a teardrop over Elton Walker.
I know UT Martin's awful happy to have Curry back and healthy. He was not available in that Austin Peay game, and he's one of those guys. He gives you defense and rebounding, and sometimes that scoring is just a little bonus. And there he is right there, just making a good heads-up and energy play, really.
On cue, gets the steal down low underneath, and UTM hoping to capitalize and extend their 14-9 edge over the Governors. This is Henderson on the left side, takes a 15-footer, couldn't bank it in, but Josh Endicott, amidst 3 other black jerseys, gets the offensive rebound. He misses, Curry misses on a third try, and here comes Noel Scott the other way. Boy, 3 high-percentage looks, Eddie, on that possession for UTM that couldn't drop.
Yeah, Endicott plays sparingly. As a matter of fact, that Austin Peay game may have been his coming-out party. I remember Coach Ritter really singing his praises and talking about he was going to have to find opportunities for him because he brings such energy. But, yeah, he's going to have to finish. And KK Curry, same situation. Can't give those up tonight.
Walker on the right elbow is going to take the J halfway down and out. KK Curry grabs another rebound. It's going to be his 4th of the evening already. Josh Endicott was open momentarily, but fumbled the entry pass from Henderson on the other side. Again, 14-9, still our score for UTM. Henderson thought about the long 3. He's going to take Copeland to the rim. A floater is good over Calderon, and UTM has their largest lead of the night at 7.
Henderson usually more or less known
in the Ohio Valley Conference. As we resume play again, Austin Peay trails UT Martin by the score of 16-9. This part 2 of a two-part series in the OVC between these two clubs. This is Peay on the right wing. Going to draw in motion Tariq Silver, but instead passes it out to Copeland at the top of the key. He'll try and score over the top of Grant Hurst and gets a nice shooter's touch, and it will roll in for Copeland.
Yeah, tough assignment for Hurst right there. Again, the young man doesn't play a lot of minutes, being asked to step in and try to defend Copeland right there. Copeland getting the better of him.
Yeah, again, if you're just joining us, no Darius Simmons tonight for UTM, and KJ Simon already with 2 fouls. So that Skyhawk backcourt is stretched pretty thin already this evening. This is Kobe Jeffries. Will take the ball in from initially about 35 feet away from the rim and will turn it over. That doesn't happen often for Kobe Jeffries. And here come the Governors the other way. Copeland gets over to Tariq Silver, who clapped to get the ball, and that's why he bangs in a 3 from the right wing, and Silver now with 8 points on the evening.
Yeah, Austin Peay on a little 5-0 burst of their own since that last timeout, cutting this lead to 2. UT Martin still leading at 16-14.
Silver, a very dangerous three-point shooter. You can't leave him open. This is Bernie Andre at the top of the key, over to Kobe Jeffries. 9:12 to go in this first half as Jeffries takes a mid-range J that's halfway down and out. Copeland takes the rebound. And you get a sense that Kobe a little more aggressive offensively than usual with all the absences that UTM has in the backcourt.
Right, yeah, going to have to be, certainly.
This is Woodard on the right wing, over to Peay. Gets a screen, declines the screen rather, from Walker. Didn't like the switch on Bernie Andre and gives to Woodard inside. A kick out to Copeland for 3 on the right corner is nothing but net, and all of a sudden.
Extremely sharp on their last 3 possessions, and you look up now, and Austin Peay has now claimed a 1-point lead over UT Martin.
After the 30-second break, Coach Ritter brings in KJ Simon. He'll join Grant Hurst, Josh Endicott, Bernie Andre, and Mikael Henderson. And Endicott is caught, if you will, with the turnover. It is Alec Woodard who gets the steal and the fast break bucket for Austin Peay, and now make it a 10-0 run.
Yeah, Endicott out there in a little bit of an uncomfortable position for him. Austin Peay with the very active hands, able to deflect. And I was going to have the question of when do you bring KJ Simon back? I thought if UT Martin could hang on to that 6, 7, 8-point lead, Coach Ritter has the luxury of keeping him on the bench, but that question's already been answered as Austin Peay took that 1 and now a 3-point lead. KJ Simon's out there having to play with those 2 fouls. He's going to have to be really careful, really smart, but still maintain his usual aggressive style of basketball to give them a little lift here.
2 field goal attempts on the night so far for KJ Simon. Scoreless, but with 4 rebounds as Grant Hurst airballs a 3 on the last possession for UT Martin. This is Woodard at the top of the key, over to Copeland. Pretty big matchup inside again with Chris Nix defending Corbin Merritt. Those are 2 big bodies going at each other down low. Woodard still with the ball, under 10 on the shot clock. Tariq Silver scores inside and becomes the first player from either team to reach double digits with 10.
Yeah, and he's done it from a lot of different areas on this floor too.
Henderson off the Chris Nix screen. Couldn't get it back to the big man because of the wall built by Merritt and by Peay. Bernie Andre, some of the unlikely sources, if you will, for Austin Peay, dishing some damage.
Yeah, and they've, like you said, just made an incredible run here. UT Martin had gone on that 10-2 run for about 4 minutes or so, and looked like they were not trying to put them away, but certainly put them in their rearview mirror, and Austin Peay just came storming back with a little 12-0 run. Not a little, a big 12-0 run of their own.
Bernie Andre tries to break the spell following the timeout with a mid-range jumper that's no good, and Corbin Merritt snags the defensive board. This is Silver now on the next possession. Gives over to Calderon on the right side. He's got Walker in the post if he wants him, declines, and gives over to Scott. Checked by Bernie Andre, who has scored 6 points so far this evening. Calderon misses on the little runner down low, and Andre takes the rebound. UTM hoping to put an end to a spell that's lasted nearly 4 minutes now, but they turn it over trying to go too fast. And that's foul number 3 on KJ Simon, reaching in on the Austin Peay ball handler, and that is the costliest of them all.
Yeah, and if you not that you would ever want to see KJ Simon pick up that 3rd foul in the first half, but certainly not in that area of the floor.
Right,
I mean,
right.
We're not talking about trying to stop a driver or block a shot or anything here. We're just reaching for a basketball. It's just not very smart. So yeah, UT Martin's going to have to not only climb out of this deficit, but find a way to do it without their leading scorer for the remainder of this half.
Speaking of a 6'3" guard that averages 4 blocks per game is KJ Simon, and Austin Peay is again fouled, this time much closer to the rim. This one's
yeah,
on
you expect
Jeffries.
a little banging and battling to go in down there, but UT Martin's going to have to find a way. But the thing is, they're a little bit healthier than they have been. Talked about KK Curry. Has not been available all year. Bernie Andre, he was injured, I think, for about the first five or six games, and he really had started to come into his own. Same thing with Nix there. Both of those guys playing together. I thought at one time you'd probably see one or the other, not both, but Coach Ritter's had to find a way to get both of them in the lineup. They've been so aggressive and so important for this team.
Austin Peay gives the ball back to UTM as Corbin Merritt fires a pass that sailed way too high. And from UTM, it's Jeffries, Nix, Andre, Henderson, and Curry on the floor for Coach Ritter. Nix's pass is tipped away by Noel Scott, and it'll stay Skyhawk basketball. Scott is out there with Silver, Calderon, Walker, and number 11, Corbin Merritt. Jeffries still running the point for UTM on the day with 4 points this evening. Driving on the left side, will leave his feet and pass to Mikkel Henderson for 3, too short. Calderon takes the board. Henderson with far and away his best performance here at the Elam Center last Saturday against Tennessee Tech with 18 points so far today. Only 1 of 4 from the field and with 2 points. Skyhawks trail 21-16. They have succumbed to a 12-0 Austin Peay burst. Silver will try to add to it, and while he misses the 3, he is fouled in the act of shooting for the second time tonight. And Chris Nix has now picked up his 3rd personal foul of this first period.
Yeah, and to Chris Nix looking a little perplexed on that foul call, to say the least. But you do have to give the shooter room to come down, and my estimation, he did not allow Silver an opportunity to come down, where he had left the floor.
Both of those occasions where Silver has been fouled shooting a 3, it's not been the case of the defender slapping him on the arm or the wrist. It's down there low. You have to give him room to land.
Right, and rules change, and I guess there's points of emphasis that officials look at, but here this year, that was one of the things officials were asked to watch for, was to make sure that the landing opportunity was available for that shooter. I think some of the takeaway, they were to be a little bit more aware, a little bit more cognizant of the shooters trying to jump into and lean into the defenders. They were going to take that away from the game. But at the same time, the defenders have to do a little better job of avoiding that lower body contact.
2 of the most important players for UTM with 6 fouls between the 2 of them, as Silver connects on 2 of 3 free throws to put the Governors ahead by their largest margin of 23-16. It's a 14-0 run that has lasted nearly 5 minutes without UTM contributing to the scoreboard. Henderson fakes a 3 on the left corner and finally puts an end to that drought, scoring his 2nd field goal of the night.
Yeah, good to see him stay aggressive. Maybe the worst thing UT Martin could do with those guys sitting over there would be to stop playing aggressive.
And just as the offense picks back up for UTM, they give up a triple on the other side as Alec Woodard nails the 3. Henderson on the right side gives to Josh Endicott with his back to the basket. Under 5 minutes to go in this first quarter, and Endicott will be fouled in the act of shooting. It's on Corbin Merritt, and that'll be his 2nd foul of the night. So for Austin Peay, they're not without their foul troubles as well. That's 2 on Merritt and 2 on Elijah Hutchins Everett.
Yeah, I just think some of their parts may be a little bit more interchangeable than the parts that are over there sitting for UT Martin. As a coach, it's a hard situation to be in, too. You're down 8, so you've got to push. You've got to play hard. You got to play through. But you're also kind of sitting there hoping that the clock would run a little bit faster, get yourself to halftime and try to regroup and save those guys. And certainly you're not going to see them again to have an opportunity to pick up that 4th foul. But I would expect to see both those guys in the starting lineup in the second half, though.
Endicott drains both of his free throw attempts to bring our score to 26-20. 4 minutes, 45 seconds remain in half number 1 at the Elam Center in Martin. Austin Peay hoping to avenge the loss in Clarksville 3 weeks ago and deny UTM their first sweep over Austin Peay, or their 4th, I should say, since joining the conference back in 1992. Woodard feeling it a little bit, maybe a little bit too much though, as he takes the 3 and is short. However, Elton Walker is going to pick up the foul on Josh Endicott. After the big man takes the board, you can see there, just slapped him right on the arm.
Yeah, and you can see him in pain. And during one of those media timeouts, I saw him over there kind of by himself. I thought he was working on his back. I know Endicott has dealt with some different injuries as this year has gone on, but looks like he's okay. He's going to step to the free throw line.
Free throws, I'm sure, since last Saturday have been a huge point of emphasis in practice for head coach Ryan Ritter. One of the first things he talked about in the post game last weekend in that loss, a game that UTM felt was a very winnable affair against Tennessee Tech. 7 missed free throws in a 6-point final decision.
Yeah, those are kind of hard to deal with. A lot of people talk when you miss free throws, you should just work on free throws more in practice. Well, as a coach, you kind of expect your guys to get in there and work on their free throw shooting on their own. You want to deal more with defensive strategy and more of a team drill situation in your practices when you can.
Endicott goes 1 of 2 at the line and makes it 26-21 in favor of the visitors in black. A two-handed jam from Elton Walker plus the foul. As Peay saw him cutting to the rim, there wasn't a white jersey there to trail him, and there's a highlight reel play for Elton Walker.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice find out of Peay. Sounded like that whistle blew before he ever jumped in the air. I wasn't sure where the contact came from, but maybe a little anticipatory whistle.
The continuation rules in basketball have definitely changed over the past 15 years or so, as Walker makes it a 3-point play, and it seems as here in the first half, just as UT Martin tries to build some momentum, Austin Peay comes back with a demoralizing play on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's Walker's 5th point. Was it 2 dunks and a free throw?
Yeah.
2 adamant dunks.
A 6'4" forward who just about had his head at the rim that last play. Kobe Jeffries gets the Josh Endicott screen. Peay stays with him on the roll. Had Henderson open on the corner and didn't see him, but Josh Endicott is able to score his 7th point of the night.
Yeah, we've seen Endicott this season be able to get in double digits, but it's not his usual. He's out there again for energy, rebounding, and defense, but he's going to be called on to put some points on the board tonight.
Both him and Curry in the front court as well, especially thanks to Chris Nix's foul troubles tonight.
Yeah, Curry is he is one of those guys that averages almost a double-double, but he like his running mate over there that's been benched.
Yeah, 10 of those made field goals as well. And this man at the free throw line here, Tariq Silver, who after missing the free throw stays at 14 points, but already with 8 free throw attempts so far tonight.
And he went to the free throw line again. UT Martin guilty of fouling a jump shooter. You don't see that a whole lot. I know at least 3 times we've seen it because we've seen 2 3-point attempts, and then that long 2 attempt right there drawing another foul.
Mikael Henderson misfires on a tray, but Josh Endicott comes out of nowhere for the offensive rebound and will reset the offense. Jeffries has been going to his left side a lot tonight, and he'll draw the foul. And because there have been so many whistles for either side, that will be free throws for the true freshman point guard.
Yeah, everybody's shooting free throws the rest of the way. Just 2:45 left in this half, but both teams in the bonus. Actually, Austin Peay in the double bonus now if UT Martin guilty of another foul. And Endicott right there, I was going to say, it doesn't matter how many points he gives UT Martin. He just gets you more possessions, one way or the other, whether it be turning the other team over, running down loose balls, pulling offensive glass. His energy it's just fun to watch him.
In order to succeed, of course, and make a deep run in the postseason, you have to have 1 or 2 glue guys, as they say, and Endicott certainly fits that role. Speaking of fitting roles, that's exactly what Kobe Jeffries does. You know, I watch him a lot in the season, and it's often easy to forget that he's just a true freshman. He carries the ball very well, doesn't turn it over a lot, makes smart decisions with field goal attempts, and here he goes, 2 for 2 at the line.
Yeah, usually he's a low turnover kind of guy too. He's a little bit of a distributor, but he does so with in an efficient manner, able to take care of the basketball.
Grant Hurst will re-enter for the Skyhawks, and David Didinko will check into the lineup for the first time tonight. Didinko, a 230-pound, 6'9" junior out of Russia, transfer from Georgia Tech, who, as we remember, was in the starting lineup at times throughout the first half of the season and has seen his role diminish a little bit.
You have, and you usually don't see him and Endicott out there together, but with the foul situation, both these guys going to play. Didinko really, at 6'9", he's a little bit more comfortable out on the perimeter. Almost one of your old school, typical European players. Doesn't mind putting the ball on the floor, has a little pizzazz to his game, and he really loves shooting that 3-ball too.
Almost was ready to call another silly foul about 30 feet away from the rim, but found out that the call was actually a traveling violation against Carlos Paez, and that does not happen often. His first turnover of the night for the man who ranks 8th in the entire nation in assist-to-turnover ratio.
Yeah, and really almost not at all under duress in that situation. Everybody just kind of stopped and looked, trying to figure out what the whistle was for.
Henderson at times can be a bit trigger-happy for UTM. Saw an opening that he liked and took it. Misfires on the three, but Grant Hurst is there to keep it alive. Curry misses a second attempt, but cashes in on the third.
I think Curry still trying to shake off some of that rust. He missed a lot of games in between this season.
31-27, our new score. Make it 33-27 as Elton Walker scores some second chance points of his own for Austin Peay on the baseline reverse lay-in. Grant Hurst will hand over to Josh Endicott. Little give-and-go offense for UTM with Mikal Henderson now running the point. Declines the screen from Didinko and gets a reach-in call from Alec Woodard.
Yeah, I think Woodard was just trying to make sure he kept the ball from getting to that ball screen, but a little bit too much of an overplay.
Only the first foul of the night for Woodard. Maybe about one of only 2 or 3 players on the floor that doesn't have one already.
Anybody that's played any minutes has got a foul at this point.
Final score the last time these two teams met up, rather, 65-62, and we saw that game get very physical down the stretch, and a UT Martin team that was depleted at the time only saw 5 points from their bench, but was able to hold on late due to some clutch free throws from KJ Simon. Henderson misses the second free throw attempt to make it 33-28 in favor of Austin Peay. Tariq Silver, the game's leading scorer thus far, with 14 points on the night, fakes the spin and gets over to Caleb Stone Carrawell. A nice move underneath by Elton Walker. He's upset at himself for missing the easy one down low, and Endicott takes the board. Here's Henderson with a nice right-to-left crossover, blows the layup. KK Curry tries to keep it alive, but it'll be out of bounds against UTM, and possession will go the other way.
How many of those seeming gimmies has UT Martin missed now in this game? You know, you trail by 5, and you got to go back and wonder, just a lot of these 2-4-foot shots, if UT Martin might still have that lead.
32% shooting is UTM tonight to go along with 12 points in the paint, but like you said, Eddie, it could be a lot more. Under 1 minute to go in this first half. Austin Peay leads it 33-28. Tariq Silver on the left side, defended by Grant Hurst. He may like that matchup, but decides to swing it out the opposite direction. Stone Carrawell pump fakes, and there's Walker driving to the lane again. Nearly an identical play to what we saw a few minutes ago, but however, he's unable to score the layup
you know
this
why
time.
he missed it. He didn't dunk it.
He didn't dunk it, right. He didn't have his head at the rim.
That's right.
Just about a 1.5 second difference between the game and shot clock on what we believe will be the final possession of this half. UTM trailing by 5, and Mikal Henderson will direct the offense after receiving information from Coach Ritter. A little miscommunication, though, between Henderson and Didinko, and Mikal will decide to take it himself. Misses the runner. Silver takes the board, and will have a half-court heave. That is in this first half.
So you know what's about to happen. Both these teams are about to erupt for 50 or 60 points apiece.
Well, I'd love to see it.
It would be a lot of fun.
As a fan of offense, you'd love to see that. Play is resumed here as we start the second half. Austin Peay leads it by 5. Back into the game for the first time since the opening 3 or 4 minutes is Hutchins Everett, and he immediately makes an impact. He heard you, Eddie, and he scored on the baseline.
Yeah, see if UT Martin can match that with one of their Ophir guys right now.
Chris Nix and KJ Simon a combined 0 of 3 from the field, and both with 3 fouls apiece. Simon has it knocked loose, but it'll stay with the Skyhawks for the time being.
You said 0 of 3 from the field, those two guys? That may be more surprising than no points, just the 3 shot attempts. I mean, even if you had 3 fouls, you had to have been out there some minutes or you couldn't have picked up the fouls anyway. It's just a little unbelievable. They only had that few of shot attempts from those guys.
Yeah, you're looking at Nix, who had 12 points and 9 rebounds against Tennessee Tech. Only taking 1 shot, maybe a second here right now. He won't get it off before he takes an extra step, though, and it'll be a UTM travel.
Yeah, and UT Martin just continues to shoot themselves in the foot with silly turnovers, silly fouls, and Austin Peay with this 7-point lead and looking to add to it.
Only 5 turnovers in the opening half for UTM, which is, I think, a statistic that if you had told Coach Ritter that, he would have definitely been satisfied with. It's just that not a lot of other facets of the game have really gone in UT Martin's favor.
Yeah, it's not a bad turnover number, but you couple that with shooting under 32%. Austin Peay getting hot at the right time for Austin Peay, as they have really since the 10-minute mark of that first half.
It is not easy to be met at the summit by Chris Nix and still muscle a basket in, and that's what Elijah Hutchins Everett just did, already with 4 points here in this period. And there's a foul against Austin Peay. That's Tariq Silver with the whistle. And that'll send Simon to the free throw line, and this may be the best thing for KJ Simon, getting to the charity stripe, just getting to see the ball go through the rim here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of times, as you mentioned it, just seeing it go through the net one time, and you know he's got to be over there shrugging his shoulders, wondering what the deal is in that first half. It maybe will propel him into that second half that we know he's capable of.
KJ Simon, second in the Ohio Valley Conference in scoring, also in second place in steals. He knocks down both freebies to finally get his name in the scoring column, and that brings our score to 37-30 in favor of Austin Peay. Paez on Kobe Jeffries. He'll dish it out to Alec Woodard on the right corner. Entry pass is off target, intended for Hutchins Everett. It's intercepted by KJ Simon. Beautiful fast break offense from number 2 to number 1, and Kobe Jeffries lays it up and in.
Yeah, usually you see the opposite of that, but yeah, nice little two-man game on that fast break.
37-32. The lead has been trimmed down to 5 for UT Martin. Pass is initially out of reach of Hutchins Everett. Don't know how it wasn't a turnover, but Chris Nix swats the ball away. But there's Carlos Paez, maybe the scrappiest player on the floor, really, for either side. He comes up with that loose ball and is able to draw a UT Martin foul.
Yeah, he just seems like he's bouncing every time he's on the floor. He's got that little constant motion. How about that block shot, though, from Nix? You know, he knew he had no chance if he allowed it to get to the height of the shot, so smacked it out, pretty much took it from right off the top of his forehead.
It's block number 22 on the season for Chris Nix. This is a UT Martin team that has 3 players inside the top 10 in the conference in total blocks. Nix alongside KK Curry and KJ Simon, of course. Here's Elton Walker dishing out to Alec Woodward. 17:50 to go in this second half. Hutchins Everett, who's already scored twice in this second half, make it 3 times as he scores from the left side of the paint with a nice touch. Kobe Jeffries over to Chris Nix. Still yet to score in this game is Nix, one of our players to watch this evening. Simon tees up a 3 that's just short. Nix is able to keep it alive just long enough on the tap so that KJ Simon gets his own offensive rebound. Simon tries to go behind the back there on the left side. Didn't really see a lot of contact there, and they're going to whistle Austin Peay with a reach-in. I don't think that Coach Nate James was happy about that one.
No, you've seen both these coaching staffs a little bit unhappy with the officiating, as you would expect with a lot of whistles blown there in the first half. And that right there, KJ Simon was just a little loose with the ball. You're right. I didn't see much contact, so UT Martin very fortunate to keep possession.
If you recall, UTM was the beneficiary of a late call in Clarksville that really could have gone either way, and Simon calmly sunk those free throws to get the win in the OVC opener as KK Curry drives to the rim and slams home a two-handed dunk.
Yeah, KK Curry having a hard time scoring tonight too. 6 points, 4 points there in the first half.
Does have 5 rebounds. Of course, this is a player that's now back to 100%. It was the Austin Peay game in Clarksville where it started for Curry as he fell into a bit of a lull with an illness and had a bit of a minutes restriction, but back to his full stature now as Paez misses a 3. And here comes Kobe Jeffries the other way. Spins.
Ooh, yeah, it's going to be an offensive without a doubt, yeah.
Offensive foul.
Paez took a shot. There was no acting on that. Sometimes you kind of think the defensive player is selling, but I saw that elbow was unintentional. But Paez had his head rocked back. But we get a thumbs up, and he's up, and he's ready to go. He's still holding that jaw a little bit, but certainly going to try to tough it out, stick it out, and stay in this ball game.
Looked like Paez was in pretty good defensive position too, let alone the elbow to the face, but looked like he was in pretty good place to draw the charge even without that contact to the face.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to set up for that body blow. He certainly didn't want to take it to his face.
Cameron Copeland with a nice step-back J that drops. One-on-one offense with Bernie Andre, and for as much as we've talked about Tariq Silver tonight, Eddie, Copeland has been just as important.
He has, but you would expect that. Again, he typically comes off the bench, but scores 10 points in that capacity.
Henderson declines the three at the top of the key, dribbles himself into a double team, but gets out of it. Here's Bernie Andre on the left corner. Good cutoff by Elton Walker, and Andre hits the side of the backboard, gets a second look at it, and that one fails to hit the rim. That's a sequence.
2 shots, one on the backboard and one drawing air. Yeah, he having a tough time on that possession.
That's a sequence that Bernie Andre would like to forget. Three-pointer from Tariq Silver rattles in, give him 17 points on the night. And the lead is up to 10 for Austin Peay at 44-34. Ranks, you knew that his team would continue on and adjust in the second half, and they've come out firing here.
Yeah, they have. It's been a lot of the same. Silver with that three-point shot, it's got him up to 17. He's waiting for somebody else in this game to join him in double digits. Endicott's going to try. I think that's his 9th point of the game.
Yeah, Josh Endicott scores, goes head-to-head with Elijah Hutchins-Everett. That was a clash of the Titans there at the rim, and the offense won that battle. Here's Elton Walker on the right elbow, gives to Tariq Silver. Again, 4 of 5 from the field tonight is Silver with a host of free throws to go with it. Hutchins-Everett draws a triple team and dishes out to the open player. That was DJ Peay into the game for the first time tonight, who was open but misfires on the three. And after a whistle vying for the rebound, it'll be far here in this game. Foul trouble has been such an issue for both sides, and we've just discovered here, kind of under the radar, but Kobe Jeffries, who has 8 points tonight for UTM, with 4 fouls according to our stat sheet.
Yeah, I was going back and trying to find where it occurred. I couldn't find it in this half. Surely he didn't have those 4 in the first half. And on top of that, for Austin Peay, Elijah Hutchins-Everett, just before we went to break, picked up his 3rd foul.
Looks like we're going to be a turnover for UTM following the timeout, as it was a race to the ball as it passed half court, and Austin Peay wins that race.
Yeah, Coach Ritter just trying to find any combination, really anything to put on the floor to click right now. Austin Peay continuing to have their way and trying to build on this, continue to build on this lead.
Terrific post position down low by Elijah Hutchins-Everett. Josh Endicott is a big body at 6'9", 200, and he was almost just bullied right there.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I thought, it shows Nick's only being 2 inches is smaller, but they look different out there on the floor.
Henderson is going to draw a hand check from Peay. That's DJ Peay, a 6'2" redshirt junior from Texas. Transfer from Collin College.
Endicott looks kind of like what I did in high school, a little wiry.
Oh, is that right?
Well, he's cut up a little bit better than I am, but slender of build. Hutchins-Everett, maybe more like what I look like now. I'm only 6'3", but I probably weigh the same as he does.
Is slender how you would describe me as well?
Yeah, you are right now, currently. That's right.
KJ Simon bangs in a 3 from the left corner, and I think that's the first 3 of the half. It is only the 3rd of the game for UTM. KJ Simon now with 5 points on the night.
Yeah, and just his first field goal on the night. And we're almost 26, 27 minutes into this.
Copeland is unable to oop the alley from Peay. And UT Martin's got a one-man advantage if they hurry. Simon will elect for another 3, and he hits back-to-back triples, and he's talking to his own bench, hyping himself up. Our score all of a sudden is 46-42, and Nate James.
Some work here in the second half to get up to that average, but it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, Simon had his season-high 30 points in this building against UNC Asheville before the holidays, and follow that up with 26 against this very Austin Peay team a couple of nights later as UTM forces a turnover on the first possession after the break. And here's Simon feeling it. A little playground offense for KJ. Kicks out to Josh Endicott. Henderson lines up a 3 that's a little short. Endicott keeps it alive, not once but twice, but Austin Peay's able to retain possession.
Yeah, again, one of those hustle plays. That last play, Peay, he's having problems with his mask. You see him pushing it up right there. After that turnover, he was trying to get it adjusted. Not sure how long he's had the mask or if he's just having some issues with it tonight.
Got some major Rip Hamilton vibes going from DJ Peay.
We'll see if he shoots like Hamilton.
He'd be a great player if he could. Copeland misfires on the J, and here comes KJ Simon. Couldn't make it 3 for 3 in this half. Tried to track it down, but Copeland will snag the board. Pretty good hustle by Copeland, missing the J on one end, but getting back for the rebound on the quick possession the other end.
Yeah, and how big would that 3 have been for KJ Simon?
No doubt.
Just the 2 makes he's already had has drawn a lot of attention for Austin Peay, so might open up game for somebody else here on this UT Martin staff.
PV gets a screen from Walker. Ill-advised pass that somehow stayed in the hands of Austin Peay. I don't know how that ball ended up in the hands of Tariq Silver, but Austin Peay will take it. And then on the other side, KK Curry didn't have his head up, and Mykel Henderson's pass sails too high.
Yeah, UT Martin with a couple of active hand tips on the defensive end right there. UT Martin not happy to just have a tip. KK Curry, the ball sailing out of bounds. Just as they're trying to build that momentum and cut this thing to 4. It's up to a 6-point game again, but with Austin Peay in possession of the basketball.
Yeah, 48-42, our new score after the possession, where almost UTM's good defense worked against them on that last possession. Here's Elton Walker. Consecutive second half lulls as against Tennessee Tech on Saturday. The Skyhawks were outscored by 12 over the final 20 minutes, and after leading for 32 minutes total, they dropped that one to the Golden Eagles. Under 10 seconds on this shot clock possession here for Austin Peay as Peay on the right corner. Good defense by Mykel Henderson, although Copeland finds a spot on the right corner, but a tremendous offensive rebound by Elton Walker to keep play alive.
Yeah, and KJ Simon playing with those 3.
Yeah.
Unable to, I don't know, be as aggressive or as physical as he would have liked to have been on that defensive rebound situation.
Rare that you see Carlos Peay at 5'10" in there amongst the trees being aggressive, but he's going to draw the foul and head to the stripe for 2.
Yeah, and looking for his own offense, something he had to do that night in Austin Peay. Austin Peay really struggling to score in the first half at their place against UT Martin, and Peay lifted and kind of brought him along with him.
UT Martin thus far in this second half, as we're almost 9 minutes in, just 5 made field goals. 3 of those 5 have been from KJ Simon.
Yeah, and just taking a look, we've been talking about the foul trouble. Of course, Austin Peay has Hutchins Everett with 3 fouls. UT Martin, Nix, Simon with those 3 fouls, and Jeffries again. We haven't seen him. I don't know that we've seen him at all the second half, certainly not much, sitting with those 4 fouls after scoring 8 points in the first half.
Peay misses both free throws, and on the other side, Bernie Andre misfires on a triple. That makes Andre for the night only 2 of 7, although he is 2 of 3 from downtown. His first miss from there of the night.
You just kind of think if either team could get hot here at some point, you know, Austin Peay could really add to this lead and make it tougher on UT Martin, while at the same time, if UT Martin could get on a little run, could put a little pressure on Austin Peay.
Copeland misses the 3, and as Grant Hurst keeps it alive to Mykel Henderson, this will set up a bit of a semi-fast break opportunity. And in the hands of Henderson, you know he'll try to push it. Bernie Andre looked like he initially had the offensive rebound, then it was wrestled away from him by Peay.
Yeah, really just another wasted opportunity by the Skyhawks.
Yeah. We saw that really come into play for UTM on Saturday against Tennessee Tech, as UTM was only able to convert 11 points off of 15 forced turnovers against the Golden Eagles, and Austin Peay scores again.
Yeah, so this may just be a continuation of that.
Andre not shy about letting the 3 ball go. Can't get it to fall, but Chris Nix takes the offensive rebound. Simon misses a 3, and it's going to be a foul on UTM vying for the rebound. Not sure who it was on, but it was really kind of an even tussle getting for position, if you will.
It was, and usually when it's that even tussle that you talk about it, the call goes defense's way. You saw Coach Ritter look like he was walking down the baseline ready to call an inbounds play, and actually had a little look of disbelief when he realized it was going against his guys.
50-42 Governors, under 10 minutes to go in this one. Austin Peay has led for quite a while in this one, over 19 minutes of play. The Governors have been in front of the Skyhawks trying to avenge the loss on their home floor from 3 weeks ago, and they will if they keep getting plays like this from Tariq Silver. That's now 22 points on the night for him, another 3-ball. Josh Endicott, one-on-one, back to the basket. A strip by Tariq Silver, but it's able to stay in play by the hands of Chris Nix. Nix misses the hook, and they're going to get Josh Endicott with an over-the-back, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be a little
Nix.
Yeah, Nix on his own, trying to play his own way through. UT Martin doesn't really play through their post game a whole lot, certainly not with their back to the basket. But right now, UT Martin just trying to find any way they can to score, maybe even get to the free throw line and find some easy offense. But yeah, in that situation, not able to come away with the 4-foot, 6-foot jump shot, or jump hook, I should say, and then guilty of the foul as well, which is his 4th foul.
Another lengthy scoring drought has plagued UTM. It's been nearly 5 minutes without a point for UTM since those 2 triples by KJ Simon.
Is that who made that pass there?
I believe it was Hutchins Everett.
Was it? Looked like he was throwing it to himself, or he thought he was. That's maybe Corbin Merritt down there, 6'8".
You're right.
Thought he maybe had another 6'8" guy down there. He was throwing it to almost to the halfway point of the backboard. Not sure his teammate was ready for that.
Trio of substitutions come in for Austin Peay. Defensively, it's Alec Woodard, Cameron Copeland, Carlos Paez, number 4 Elijah Hutchins Everett, and Drew Calderon. UT Martin counters with KJ Simon, Mikael Henderson, Chris Nix, Josh Endicott, and Grant Hurst, as Nix continues to be 0 from the floor. It's now 0 of 3 after missing down low. Calderon lines up a 3 on the outside. KJ Simon skies for the rebound and is then fouled after corralling said rebound. Woodard with his hand in the cookie jar. And another foul some 90 feet away from the rim.
Yeah, and you see Nix down here frustrated. That was a sideline call. A little setup, a little ball screen drag, pick roll almost. Nix looked like he had a gimme 2-foot shot. Again, UT Martin not able to capitalize on some of those nice, clean looks. You seemingly think they're gimmies at times and just not able to do anything with it.
You know, the game against Belmont here in this building and Tennessee Tech last Saturday really comes to mind when you remember that UTM and Coach Ritter drew up a lot of quality offensive plays, and a lot of times just the shots didn't fall, and there was another good look that just didn't drop. Simon draws a lot of contact, but in the process is whistled for a traveling violation, and that's turnover number 10 against UT Martin.
Yeah, you bring up that Belmont game. Belmont's one of those teams you can't leave any points out there on the floor. You better make all your free throws, take care of your possessions because they're going to put points up. But Austin Peay, you talk about it, they've got vengeance or a little bit of revenge on their mind tonight, and they're certainly doing a nice job trying to put UT Martin away right now here in the second half.
As Woodard turns it over on the low pass, you think about how dominant Belmont was in this building a couple of weeks ago, and if you recall just a few nights back, Murray State in Nashville dominated that Belmont team, and that's UT Martin's next opponent.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier for either one of these teams, and Murray State, they've opened some eyes in several of their games this year.
It looks like the Ohio Valley Conference is good enough this season to receive another at-large bid along with the automatic.
Yeah, it's rare. It's happened before, and it happened with those 2 teams we were talking about. I believe Murray State won the conference the year that 2 got in, and Belmont was your team that got in at large. But it is like I said, it's rare that the OVC is able to get those 2 teams in. But Murray State continues to notch wins and impress. Like you say, it's a good chance they've got that opportunity.
Paez fakes a 3 on the left wing. Your score still 53-42 now. Paez will try to add to that. His 3 is around the world and out, but there's another second chance bucket. It's Elijah Hutchins Everett once more, scoreless at halftime, 10 points in the second period.
Yeah, and he went in there against 3 UT Martin defenders. Looked like they wanted to rebound, but Coach Ritter said it before, that young man.
Rear their head. It's been now almost 6 minutes since UTM has scored a bucket. They are 0 for their last 10 from the field.
Yeah, and in that time, Austin Peay on a 9-0 run has taken this thing from a 4-point game to a 13-point lead.
55-42 to be exact. And on cue, Josh Endicott finally ends the scoring drought with his 11th point of the game. 4 of 7 from the field now for Josh to go along with 8 boards. He's been the pleasant surprise for UT Martin this evening.
Yeah, he really has. Only the second guy for UT Martin anymore, or the first person for UT Martin to get in double digits. They usually put 3 or 4 guys in double digits. We've got only 7 minutes left in this one.
Yeah, this is a team that put up 94 on the road against Tennessee State, which is a very difficult place to play. Elijah Hutchins Everett, though, is being very difficult to stop for right now for Austin Peay. The 6'11", 270-pound freshman gets the hook shot to go.
Yeah, impressive jump hook from about 8 feet. That's not easy to do. And the nice soft touch, it just kind of stuck there on the back of the rim before dropping in.
KJ Simon, the southpaw, misfires on the jumper. He's missed his last 4 shots since hitting those 2 back-to-back threes. Paez is able to avoid the turnover with a swipe from Grant Hurst. Our score is 57-44, 6.5 to go. UTM trying to avoid what would be a 2-4 OVC stretch and what would be a 3-4 home record should they not be able to come back from this advantage from Austin Peay. Silver lines up another 3, was almost ready to call that one good while it was in midair. He's been so hot tonight, but that one was a little too strong. Austin Peay, though, keeps possession with an offensive board. They've had 8 of those offensive rebounds tonight, has the Governors. Pass is initially tipped by Kobe Jeffries, but Elijah Hutchins-Everett stays with it and scores yet again. 14 points, all 14 of them here in the second half, rather.
And seemingly with very little UT Martin resistance. Opportunity to call timeout, maybe set up a little press here. We'll see if it's token or if they're actually going to. Yeah, we see a nice little trap action here from Curry.
Curry and Simon
pays dividends automatically.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They go to the press and it pays off for him. Simon is initially unable to score, but he will draw the foul as he was in deep along with 2 black jerseys. And that should be in the act of shooting, so KJ will go to the free throw stripe and try and make a little run here.
Yeah, and I would expect UT Martin to show a whole lot more of that, not just the press, but with the ball in their hands, not relying so much on jump shots, but trying to attack the rim, see if they can't get some offense with the clock stopped here.
Yeah, we're talking about a UT Martin team that saw only a 28% shooting clip in all of the second half last Saturday against Tennessee Tech. That's tied for the lowest half percentage-wise they've had all season, matching the first half against Drake on the road. And how do you break a shooting slump? Normally you attack the rim because you try and get those high percentage shots.
Yeah, true. Problem is maybe for UT Martin, I hope not a problem for them. They don't really shoot the free throw that well, and probably their best, if not their second best free throw shooter, Darius Simmons, not available tonight.
Simon, speaking of that, goes only 1 of 2 at the line and makes it 59-47. Tariq Silver the other way, stumbles but finds contact. It's going to be a foul against KK Curry. And this is a pretty amazing statistic, Eddie. We see everybody in this game who's in tremendous foul trouble. That's number 1 on KK Curry.
Yeah, and he plays the style he plays. You would think that, I don't know, fouls would almost find him out there on the floor.
Fouled out in the last game against Tennessee Tech and also hit 5 fouls, I think, in the last OVC home game here as well. And you think, like you said, as physical as a game it is, that's the type of game that KK Curry relishes in.
It is. Interior defense, I mean, he goes offensive board and defensive board crazy. He usually does a lot of his action before the shot ever hits the rim with the physicality on the block out. You know, we talked about UT Martin struggling from the free throw line. It's actually an area where Austin Peay excels. They've got 7 guys over 75% for the season.
And Tariq Silver is not the person you want to put at the line in a clutch situation if you're the opposing team. It's 24 points on the night, 9 of 11 from the charity stripe. Endicott is way off on a 3 from the top of the key. And for UT Martin, it's all about this end of the floor right now if they want to come back from this 14-point deficit. Yeah,
it is, and you got to think maybe Austin Peay gets a little bit more patient with the basketball. Certainly they'd still take early offense if something were to present itself, but if they don't get anything in the first 5 or 10 seconds, they'll probably try to run it on down. I thought there was a deflection there, but the official says not, so it's going to be fortunate turnover situation. UT Martin going to get the ball back, down 14, 4.5 minutes, still time to make a push here.
Regardless of the ruling, I'm just happy that KJ Simon and Tariq Silver didn't end up in our laps.
Oh, I got you. Hey, I tell Chris all the time, I've got you. I will not let you get hit. I think that's what they pay me for, not much else.
Simon lines up the 17-foot J, is no good, and Walker takes the defensive board. It seemed like Simon was ready to hit that extra gear, as you mentioned, and maybe turn this into a 20-point game, but he has not scored since those back-to-back threes, field goals at least.
Yeah, and what happened after that second three?
Another foul, right?
Well, no, I was going to say Coach James had that timeout.
Right,
he saw the run coming, too.
Yes.
I think you and I both thought, here we go. You know, this is what we've been waiting on. But Coach James put a stop to that with the timeout. A defensive stopper on one end, but certainly a big-time score on the other. And UT Martin going to have to do a whole lot more of what they're doing right now, and that's scoring with the clock stopped to have a chance of getting back in this one.
Hutchins-Everett, the first-year player out of Orange, New Jersey. How many true freshmen do you see, Eddie, that line up at 6'11", 270?
Not that many, especially in this conference. You may see some of those, you know, the guys that get the big notoriety or whatever hitting the big conferences, and they're ready to go 1 year and jump into the pros. But, yeah, usually you have to earn your keep, so to speak, here in the OVC. But he stepped in big time in a big role.
Henderson.
We see UT Martin going 1 of 2 again at the free throw line,
yep.
which is what they did the last time.
Yep.
You've got those opportunities to climb back in, but you're not doing yourself any favors going 50% the rest of the way.
Took the words right out of my mouth, and there was almost worst case scenario for UTM. They give up a bucket with a second left on the shot clock. So Austin Peay eats up every second of the clock and scores to boot.
Yeah, and again, I think that's going to be their strategy. They'll look for early offense, and if don't have something initially, just pull it back and run that clock.
UTM's able to score quickly on the other end with Josh Endicott on the nice feed from Kobe Jeffries. Austin Peay did a nice job there of breaking the press after it initially seemed there was a high percentage of a turnover. Looks as if UT Martin being very aggressive now defensively, trying to force a steal. It's Tariq Silver is off the mark from 3. KK Curry makes sure that Elton Walker can't chase it down, and it'll be Skyhawk ball.
Yeah, let's say UT Martin does get themselves back into this thing, maybe get it down to single digits with a little time left. Problem is they've got so much foul trouble, they're not really going to be able to put a team out there that can try to trade free throws for buckets.
Yeah, it's Kobe Jeffries, Josh Endicott, KJ Simon, Mikkel Henderson, and KK Curry, the 5 on the floor, as Jeffries rolls it up to avoid some extra time falling off the clock. Jeffries spins by Paez in a beautiful Euro from left over to right and scores off the glass. That cuts the deficit to 13, and the press continues. Woodard fouled almost as soon as he got the ball. I don't think it wasn't UTM's intention to foul immediately, but that's what the call was.
Yeah, and it was almost like a lot of times you see late in a game official kind of anticipating that, thinking that the other team is trying to foul to get back into it, and that may have been the case there, but I agree. I don't think UT Martin is in, go for the steal and then go for the foul mode, not quite yet.
Alec Woodard at the line, the 6'2 junior out of Rutledge, Georgia on the evening, looking for double digits with this next point, and he's got it. 38 points put together for Tariq Silver and Elijah Hutchins Everett tonight. And if you recall back in Clarksville, Hutchins Everett was really instrumental in Austin Peay's comeback from that 13-point deficit, and they really kind of went away from him down the stretch to UT Martin's benefit. But this time it was the exact opposite. Really nothing in the first half and a ton in the second. And there is about as costly a turnover as it gets with Josh Endicott.
Yeah, Endicott, I wouldn't have been expecting a press either, which is the exact time you want to throw some kind of pressure on Austin Peay with just a little token just to make them think about it, and Endicott saw it a little bit too late and had already stepped across the end line.
Looked as if what he was maybe thinking about the pass and tried to change his mind, but already had his momentum going forward.
Yeah, and part of the problem with that too, he had it in that left hand, did not possess it with 2 hands. There's no way to pull it back in that situation.
And there we see, with 2:32 still left in this one, there was an intentional foul there by KK Curry. So looks like we'll have a lot of free throws, and I mean a lot, by Austin Peay here down the stretch.
Yeah, it may be the only chance that UT Martin has, and probably we're going to see some more bench players get out here if that is the case. I think KJ Simon picked up his 4th foul in that trap just a couple of possessions ago.
And it's interesting that foul went against KJ Simon, because it looked as if Curry was in there just as much as KJ.
Yeah, and again, sometimes the officials, they know the game situation, and if they can give it to the one with fewer fouls, it just kind of works itself out that way quite often.
Elton Walker, the 6'4 senior, goes 2 of 2 at the line.
Clock as you can. Don't block shots, just contest shots, and maybe force some tough twos, rebound your position, and then take care of the basketball.
You spoke of the opportunity for Coach Ritter to maybe put some new bench players into the game, and there's one as we speak. Josiah Morris, the true freshman from Mount Washington, Kentucky, is into the game for the first time. And it's going to stay with UTM, the call here on the floor. What'd you see there, Eddie?
Yeah, just a little loose with the basketball. Paez was not even really going for the steal, I don't think, in that situation, but was able to get a tip. And right now I think the discussion was neither player was able to get to the ball because legs taken out from under them, so trying to figure out who touched it last. But Paez did make a tip, and so I would say he did deflect the basketball out of bounds.
Skyhawks trying to make up a 17-point deficit with just over 2 minutes remaining. Henderson misses a 3, and UTM will foul immediately after the rebound. It's on Josiah Morris, so if you want to foul on any player, you'd like it to be on the true freshman.
Yeah, I was looking down at his stats. I was trying to figure out, we've seen him a few times this year, and his minutes have gone up, but his first time out on the floor tonight, he does shoot 33% from three-point land, so he does have that in his arsenal, but also he's one of those zero foul guys. Hey, go out and play aggressive. We're playing this style right now.
Walker misfires on the first attempt at the free throw line. This is a team, speaking of UTM, that put Tennessee Tech at the line 30 times last weekend, and Austin Peay not quite up to that number just yet. This will be attempt number 20 on the night, but still more than enough time for them to reach that number considering UTM's defensive strategy right now.
Yeah, and some people may watch and some people may be here and say, hey, you're down 17, 18, 19. What's the point? Well, what's not the point? You don't give your team a chance if you don't. And I've never seen on the stat column where if you lose by 30, you get more losses.
Yeah, exactly. Walker goes only 1 of 2 at the line, and UTM's able to get 3 points out of it and potentially a turnover. Indeed it is. Yeah. After David Didinko makes the 3, Kobe Jeffries gets the steal. Henderson misses the triple, though, and Tariq Silver grabs the defensive rebound. Yeah,
that could have cut it to 12 right there. So, again, you're giving your team a chance one way or the other, and as a coaching staff or as a player, that's all you can ask for is just please give us a chance to win this game.
Tariq Silver almost faked the shot in midair and passed it underneath to Elijah Hutchins-Everett. That's probably his highest percentage look of the night. Give him 16 points, and the lead's back up to 17. Albeit just for a moment as Kobe Jeffries scores underneath and makes it 72-57.
Yeah, Kobe Jeffries got stuck defensively down there on the big 6'2", 6'3". He wasn't going to be able to stop that, but came down and neutralized with the 2 of his own. Problem is UT Martin can't trade baskets at this point. Actually, we're under a minute. Probably this game has been decided. The only thing we don't know is what the actual deficit is going to be here.
This is Elton Walker at the top of the key over to Silver. He's feeling it. He's been the killer tonight for Austin Peay, especially in the first half, but couldn't score there. With 40 seconds left in this one, Josiah Morris lines up a 3 ball that's too short. Hutchins-Everett takes the defensive rebound and he had a foot out of bounds in doing so.
I guess so. He's a little bit longer than he realizes. Long-limbed, had that step back and made a little contact with the baseline.
Good call by the official, too. Staying alert. Yeah, there's still 37 seconds left in this one. If his foot's out of bounds, his foot's out of bounds.
Yeah, earn your money, right? You get paid for the game, not by the minute. Me and you too, right?
That's right,
yes. I don't even know.
Morris misses the fadeaway from about 15, and as UT Martin elects to stop the fouling with just about a 1.5 seconds between game and shot clock. So looks as if Austin Peay will hold it here and take the shot clock violation and bring us to a 15-point final score. So after a 65-62 margin the first time out in Clarksville, Austin Peay erases that memory and picks up their first OVC win of the season.
Yeah, and really did it, other than those first 2 minutes, without any, I guess, problem.
Any resistance?
Yeah, resistance. Yeah. That's a good word.
Yeah. Well, they led for, let's